I'm a little bit stuffy and a little bit nose runny, so bear with me. I might have to pause this to do some nose blowing. I very, very, very much have been wanting to make a video um, bringing some guidance and support, because I not only can feel the struggle that so many of us are going through. These last few months really have been really intense with that inner struggle, but I'm hearing so much about it lately. Um, there's a lot of potential for growth right now. A lot of that is contributed, supported by, I'll just say, the planetary transitions and the retrogrades we have going on right now, and also having Chiron and Aries. Chiron is I don't know if he's actually a minor planet. He's more like an asteroid. Um, Mythologically speaking, Chiron is the wounded healer. Um, his purpose in our natal charts, the illumination that this asteroid brings to us, is where we have our own wounding. But our wounding is also our strength. Once we recognize that has been our struggle, we observe it without judgment, we accept it, we give love to whatever that wounding is, and we learn how to grow within it. It then becomes our power. We not only don't have to continue to revisit something that is so difficult for us and for each person that is different, but we also are able to guide others. It's often discussed in the healing community that as a healer, you go through the most traumas in this lifetime and others, if you have that belief, that ideology, that we have multiple lifetimes or that we're living across multiple dimensions at once. We experience these, these traumas and these soul woundings, so we can go through them and be able to more readily identify with those who are then going to come to us for their own healing, for help, and for guidance. You can best walk somebody through something and really empathically understand what they're experiencing when you've had your own experience yourself. Um, so if we look at our natal chart, and you don't even need to look up your actual chart, you can just look up, Natal Chiron, and on Google you'll be able to see where Chiron was transiting when you were born. He usually is in each sign for 2 years, I believe. I think it takes 50 years for Chiron to make a full transit around all the zodiacs. So my natal Chiron, for example, is in Gemini. That has brought to me the constant fear of being misunderstood. That when I am communicating in any way, those around me don't understand what it is that I'm actually saying, not feeling heard, feeling disregarded, feeling like what I'm saying, needing, showing people isn't important to them. And with that misunderstood feeling, then there's often the overcompensating, explaining yourself to death, beating the dead horse, or the opposite, just shoving it down because no one's going to listen anyway. It's just going to stay the way that it was. So there's that battle constantly, and that inherently then leaves the feeling of being left behind. Gemini is the sign of the twins. It is It is the yin and the yang. It is the complete in the self, but also, I'm not going to say complete in another person, but it's that light and that shadow. We all have the aspects of ourselves that we would call great. It's the great aspects of our being. We all have those aspects of ourselves also that maybe we're not so proud of, unless you've done your shadow work and you've learned how to embrace those aspects of your being and balance them out, taking that edge off, and finding where there's benefit to that shadow aspect. That's a whole other video. But it's my feeling and my belief in the journey that I have had myself, and in what I've learned through me and through other incredible astrologers, that they're just incredible. I've learned so much through learning about astrology and my natal chart, about myself, and then inherently how to understand other people. It is my feeling that within Gemini, we're really going through that balance of those aspects of ourselves, those parts that we've always embraced and loved, and those that we've kind of shunned. When we shun any part of ourselves, we feel incomplete. We can't be whole. And if you can't feel whole within yourself, then you're constantly looking for that gratification through other people, through other sources. You become dependent, whether it's on a person or an activity or a substance, looking for that gratification to fill that void. And I really truly feel like that is a higher susceptibility with somebody who has a high amount of Gemini in their chart, especially the natal Chiron. You're constantly looking for that twin, which has more irony than you could know. So all of that to say that looking up your natal Chiron could help bring so much illumination to struggles that you've had. And I'm sure that for the most part, the vast majority of us, when you look it up and kind of Google a few different sites, what does natal Chiron and this sign mean, you'll get an overview glimpse of what it is. And I guarantee that most of us are going to go, oh my God, that's exactly what I have struggled with when it gets down to the core of, the problems that I've had, the constant cycles that I'm repeating. This is what it is. And when we have that grasp on it, it's much easier for us to heal it then, right? We have that conscious awareness of it. So when we go back through that cycle, then we can stop ourselves and say, hold up, I don't want to go through this the same way that I have. What is a different way that I can go about this? There's also a lot going on with Mercury right now in retrograde and the Pisces energies. So everybody is in heightened emotional status right now. Usually Mercury retrograde makes a lot of people cringe, but I love to embrace the Mercury retrograde. Once you really look at what the purpose intention is and the sign that it's within and working with that energy, right now it is supposed to be a lot about going inside and where are we feeling like we are lacking in our hearts? Where have we turned our back on what we really wanted to do, where we really wanted to be, who we wanted to be, who we wanted to be with, who we want to share experiences with. What career did I take for the money instead of the career that I took for the passion that it brought to me? What friends have I kept around because they've been friends forever, and what friends have I maybe not given attention to that always were there for me, even if it wasn't a relationship that's been long-term. Moving, I know people who are moving, and it's a scary thing, but it's, do I want to stay here because I'm comfortable and I know what this is, or do I want to try a new adventure because something in my heart and my soul is just pulling me to do this, and will I trust that? That knowing that we are safe in any of our choices and our options and our adventures that we go on, we're never truly in harm's way. And I know that sounds impossible to a lot of people, but a lot of that is the fear that we're living within. And when we live within fear, we attract fear. That's what we notice. It's where our attention is constantly gravitated towards, the fear, the fear, the fear. And that's then what is within your energy field. if we look at the benefits of the things that we exist within, even the painful things, and trust that I've been through the painful things, but we find the benefit of why we went through that, we find the lesson, the silver lining, as my son and I love to say. Um, we can have gratitude for that experience, and we can release the trauma from it and take the lesson and not have to go through those experiences again. And know that if in some regard we do go through those experiences again, it will be easier because we have already existed through that and came out the other end okay and stronger. Trying to think if there's anything else that I really felt like I was guided to speak about today. My head feels like it's in a vice. I'm going to do a video on Venus soon. She's been having her transits. Right now she's nice and comfy, going along with the Pisces energy, kind of showing us again, reminding us of what we love, where happiness is, where she feels contentment. But she's about to be making some transits that are not as such, that will maybe begin to create a little bit more discord to show us we saw where we are aligned and now where we may be not so aligned. I really feel like that's about good right now. Things are going to start picking up. March is going to be an incredibly heightened month. There's going to be a lot of choice points. There will be a lot of moments where we can make these decisions that even if you don't recognize in the midst of that decision, although I think many of them we will recognize, when we look back, we'll be able to see, wow, that was a game changer in that moment. And I didn't realize how important that decision was that I made. This happened because I made that decision. Being open to, what we're being shown and possibilities outside of what we would have expected is going to be so important. And I truly believe that after March, when we get into April has the potential to just be incredible. It's like all new doors and windows opening into a land that we have not yet been in. But again, it takes the trust in our soul, and then knowing that our soul is guiding us through our heart, really staying and tuning into our heart, being in those quiet moments. Call it meditating, call it praying, just being in the quiet. But it's going to be so important, keeping out of the hecticness and what other people's thoughts and opinions are, and staying instead in alignment with what ours are, is going to become everything. Within those moments, we really have the potential then to find where's our alignment and where is it that we're being guided, and trusting in that. If it feels good, it feels good. And I'm not talking about the fear. We need to learn how to release the fear. But if the thought that we create pulls in an energy that is making our heart flutter, making us feel a little bit alive, makes us happy, brings a smile to us in some way, gives you that little zip in your energy, you just feel it go through your body even for that moment. Following that and seeing where that leads us, and knowing that at the end of the day, we're going to be better than okay. And not having to wonder what if anymore. Okay, I'm going to go lay down and drink some tea and try to rest this out of me. Everybody have a fantastic week, and I will see you all soon. Much, much love.